Hi guys, welcome back to the Yorkshire Modeller. We have another new build on the channel. We're on issue 3, soon to be 4 with the Ferrari F40, but we do have a new build and it is, and I've been waiting for this one. So this Spitfire was released about 6 months ago as a trial run where they released the first 4 issues. They've honed it down, got it down to this, and this is now going to be the final run, and I'm so happy. I saw the videos from a couple of different YouTubers when the trial run was released, and I thought, you know what, if they do actually do that as a full run, I've got to have it. And there's a reason behind why I wanted to have it, which I'll come to in a moment. The model itself is based on the Spitfire as flown by AG Sailor Milan. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm sure probably it'll be in the book itself, in the magazine. But yeah, so that's the replica of the Spitfire that we're building. Now, the reason I had to get this one is not just because of what it is. Everything moves, the propellers spin at full speed, I think. The ailerons move, you've got navigation lights, you've got the machine guns, you've got sound effects, you've got everything that you could ever want with a Spitfire model. But there's something a little bit more personal to me as well. Now, I got into modelling I think I've probably gone into it when I was doing early in the Bismarck build. I got into scale modelling when I was about 7, and it was because of my granddad, my mum's dad, who got me into it. And he was building a model of a Spitfire. I think it was like an Airfix 1/72nd or 1/48th scale, something like that. And I sat and watched him, and I remember watching him for ages, just building this, gluing these little bits of plastic together and painting it and everything. And he got me into model building. Now, he did do his national service in the RAF on an air base in Germany in like in the early 1950s. And he always had a thing about planes and the RAF, and every model he ever built was a plane. Now, he died in 2009, and I stopped building models outright in 2009. I was like, nope, that's something that I did with him. It was him, I don't want to do it. A couple of years later, my grandma was emptying a few things out, and she found the Airfix boxed set of the Hurricane, Spitfire and Lancaster bomber, just the plastic kits, and she gave it me, and I was like, okay, right, well, I don't want to build any models, but these were my granddad, so I'll build them, and that got me back into it. And emotionally for me, it's a big thing to be doing this Spitfire, because it is such a large scale. It's 1/18th scale, I think, and I know that it's something that my granddad would have loved. I'm also named after my granddad, so it's emotional for me doing this build, and I'm sure that when I finish this one, I am going to cry like a baby. We'll see about that in 120 weeks, won't we? That's how long this partwork goes on for as well. So what I'll do, I'll just show you the magazine and we will get started with the build of issue 1. So with the Spitfire, you get all the normal bump about what you get if you subscribe online, and the little cards that say, please save this from my news agents, which I've already done. So yeah, the legend of the Battle of Britain, the Spitfire, probably the most well-known British fighter jet, especially of fighter plane, especially of World War II. So you've got the parts. We're attaching and building the propellers for the front in this one, and you do get the nose cone and a couple of other bits. Then you've got a new specification. So this is talking about like the history and story of the Spitfire. Then you've got your fighter squadron number 74, which this Spitfire that we're building was actually part of. And then there's the war in the air, so I'm assuming this will go through. I've not read these bits yet, but I will do before we go on to the next week's build. I'm sure this will take you through like the Battle of Britain and everything that happened during the Battle of Britain. You've got the Polish Air Force, when I can get this page open. and then we've got a little bit there as well about Dunkirk as well. So yeah, it's looking like it's going to be an interesting magazine, just like the Bismarck is. And then on the back we've got the info about what comes next week. So I'll keep that bit on the back page until the end of the video, but what I'll do, I'll get all the parts out and sorted, and we will go through all the parts for issue 1 of the Spitfire. So these are all the parts that we get with issue 1. So we're just building the propeller blades and the spinner nose cone for this one. So you do get a little jig. This is so you can keep the propeller blades all flat while you're building everything, which is a nice touch. You've got the blades themselves. You've got 2 PB screws. So we only use one of these, but the other one obviously will just go, same as I'm doing with the Bismarck. This is released by Hachette as well. So this will all have, I'm guessing, the same screws as the Bismarck as well. You've got the 3 cogs that will attach onto the propeller blades. You've got the another cog there that I'm guessing these 3 attach to. You've got the nose cone there as well, which I'm quite happy is metal. So that's going to be, that was a nice touch there. And then you've got these 2 parts here, which are the propeller mounts. Now, in the instructions, part 1 is take propeller mount 1.3 and the assembly template 1.5, fit part 1.3 into part 1.5. Now, easiest way to tell is with the assembly mount, the propeller mount, sorry, it's the one that's got the, looks like this. Let me just turn that light off because it's not really helping with the what you guys can see. So the one that's got that circle on the bottom, because the other one has just got a hole. So it's the one that's got the circle on the bottom, goes into there, so it sits like that. Now I'm going to turn that light back on again. So all this is a little bit better lit. There we go. So that part goes in there like that. Ensure that the mount fits snugly into the recess in the centre of the template 1.5, which we have done. Fit the central cog 1.7, which is the one that's just a cog, there's nothing else attached to it, into the centre of the inner part of the propeller mount. So that should just slot into there like that, and that just sits nicely right down into the bottom of there like that. Ensure that the teeth of the cog face outwards so that they can interlock with the propeller gears. See step 7, which we'll get to in a minute. Step 5, take one of the propeller cogs, which are these ones here, 1.6, and fit it onto the peg at the end of one of the propellers. So the propellers have that little cog, that little kind of raised part just there. So that is what we are attaching into here. And the actual cog itself, you can't really, that's better. That little peg there, where they've got the little hole, that just slots into there. And it is quite a tight fit actually. And it looks like that slips on all the way up to where the metal finish stops and the paint starts on this part. So, repeat step 5 with the other 2 propellers and propeller cogs. Ensure that the cogs are pushed firmly into place. So this is nice and simple. Just pop that in there like that. That one's flush. And the same with that one there. So that's all 3 of those attached. Then it's step 7, fit the 3 propeller cogs 1.6 into this over the central cog 1.7 in the middle of the mount 1.3. So what we're doing here is, move these couple of bits out of the way. Now these do have one side that feels flatter than the other, so I'm guessing that's what we're just going to pop against the flat side of the mount, just to give you a better idea. If you can see it just there, how that side there is at more of an angle, it's a bit flatter. They sit in there like that. As indicated by the red arrow, the cylindrical part of each blade fits into the neck of the central hub 1.3 as indicated by the blue arrow. So make sure you're looking at the arrows in your pictures. The blades fit into the recessed outer rim of the template as indicated by the yellow arrow. So, red arrow is just going, these go straight down into here. Blue is where the black part is on the actual propeller blade there. You can kind of make it out. If I do it, that's better. Just about there. That bit is for your blue arrow, and then the actual propeller flat part sits on there, which is the yellow one. So if we just pop that in there like that, so that's one. If the blades fit snugly into the recess, it will ensure that they are at the correct angle. So that's fine. That's fine. And that's fine. Now there is, inside each of these parts, I can't really show you, but I'll take these out and show. So it is really, really easy to fit all these. So on the cog, the actual mounting part, like the triangular mounting bit that I've just knocked off, on the inner edge there's like a little nick in there. Can I get that into the light so you can see it? That looks about right, just there, that little nick. That is where that very bottom bit of the propeller will go. And then there's like that bit of a peg on the top there. Can you see that? This lighting's terrible, I'm so sorry. That little peg there where the part of it sticks into the cog and part of it sticking out, there is like a little recessed area to clip that in as well. So it is quite easy to make sure all these parts are lining up properly. They've done a really good job of making that work. So they're all in like that. So they're all fine. The diagram shows the propeller blades at the correct position. Check the teeth on both of the cogs are engaged. That looks alright to me. That looks fine. Yep, that's fine. Finally, take the outer part of the propeller mount, which is this one, and fit it over the propeller gears so that it is aligned with the inner part of the mount, fixed in place with 1 PB screw. So, now this has got pegs and holes as well on it, so you can line that all up. Pop that in there. Then 1 PB screw, straight down the middle. There we go, that's nice and tight, and that is the propellers all done. So, and there we are, we can change the pitch on them. So, that is everything done for issue 1. I'm going to leave that in there for the moment. And that's it, all done. Right, so that's the propeller blades all built. Now what I was saying about you can change the pitch, if I just hold that perfectly level and I'm just going to turn this blade at the bottom, see there it changes the pitch of the blades. I really like that. That's very, very well done. I'm going to keep it on the mount though, so we know that that's all sorted. Now you do get the nose cone as well. We're not going to do anything with that just yet. Looks like that just screws on from behind, so that's that all done. And I will put this next to the Bismarck. 2 World War II models next to each other. Now with issue 2 we get the next set of parts, so we'll receive a motor and a motor housing together with a propeller gear set to fit to the spinners and propeller blades, so get some electrics next week as well. Now this one's going to be out in about another week, I think it is. I'm assuming these ones will be out same as the Bismarck and the F40 on a Wednesday, so hopefully we'll get them quite quickly. This first one there is going to be a 2-week gap, but it came out on this Wednesday just gone. So we're looking, I'm recording this on Monday, so it might not come out this Wednesday, it might be next Wednesday, which will be the 19th, so you're looking about the 26th of February for that next one. But we'll see, we will see what happens. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to the Yorkshire Modeller for more weekly model building geekiness. We've got 3 builds on the go now. The Hachette Bismarck, which is just back there. We've got the Ferrari F40, which is here, and then we've got the Spitfire now as well. Finally, I'm so happy about that Spitfire. So I'm also trying to get a cabinet to go here so that I can get rid of these tables and have a bit more room to work on this table that I've got in front of me. Just so I've got a bit more space, that's all really. But until next time, whether it's for the Bismarck, whether it's for the Spitfire, or whether it's for the Ferrari F40, happy modelling, guys.